2025, and we're going to sewer scope here in Mill Creek. We're at 2055 east, 3185 south. We have the camera pushed out 91 feet to the city connection. That's the city line that you see on the screen now. Now we're going to pull it back and record it and see what we find. So our first connection point is called the nose on, where it goes from your lateral line into the city line. And that looks like a good connection there. And then immediately it transitions to PVC, SDR, a little bit of standing water. That'll be something that I'm paying attention to. And then we're transitioning to ABS, which is a different type of plastic. And that little tiny splash of water is not a concern, but what we don't want to see is any standing water where my camera head is going underwater or staying underwater. That would indicate a belly or bad grade. So far this is looking good. Pretty average length of the sewer line. I'm accessing this line from a clean out in the basement bathroom. Little bit of an offset right here, and this is a good example of what happens with an offset. Looks like you have some toilet paper or wet wipe or something stuck on that offset, and you can see kind of the lip on the pipe. It's not good when you can see that because waste can get stuck on that, and just like you're seeing, it's stuck on the line now. And if enough waste gets stuck, that can create a blockage where it backs up towards the house. When it's offset on the bottom like this, grease will settle. You can see how there's a little pool of water. Grease can settle there, and it gets real sticky, and that also makes it easier for waste to get stuck. I'm going to flush a toilet and see if that goes down. I know it moved a little bit when I was pushing my camera through. I think it flushed it through. It's also a good example to see when water is draining through this area, it really builds up right there because it hits that lip. It did push that waste out, but it's not ideal. The only way to fix an offset permanently would be to dig it up and do a spot repair. Now we're transitioning to cast iron. As you can tell, cast iron gets real rough and rusty. Starting to go underwater there. I'm going to give that a minute to drain and see what it does. Cast iron will eventually need to be replaced. I mean, you can really see on the screen just how rough and rusty it is. The waste is more likely to get stuck on cast iron. If enough waste gets stuck, that can cause a backup. You can clean cast iron. There's a couple ways to clean it, but one way is to coat it. P-I-C-O-T-E. And that's where they use a chain to cut off all that scale. They also call it descaling. And that would make it a lot smoother. A little bit of standing water through there, so it's possible that if you were to descale this line, that might get rid of some of that standing water. But it's kind of a catch-22 because you want to clean it so it's not so rough. But if you clean it too aggressively, you can break through the pipe and cause it to need an immediate replacement. And when you do replace it, it's going to be difficult because in some cases you have to open up the base of the slab to get to it. In other cases, you can line it. So again, we just went through a little more standing water. Honestly, quite a bit underneath the house. I'm kind of bobbing in and out of it. I'd say that cast iron under the house is definitely the weakest link. You also have the one offset right outside the house, which is not ideal. plastic through the yard, which is good, but that's also the easiest spot to get to. The area that yours is having more concerns is under the basement slab. I always recommend the insurance, but that doesn't cover what's under the house. That only covers outside the foundation. I'm going to end this recording now.